Greg. It's nice to see you again today.
Nice to see you again, too.
So, I wanted to see if it was okay with you to give you some nutrition advice today.
Sure.
Okay. And so, you remember how last time I had taken a 24-hour diet recall from you so that I could put it into my online application called Super Tracker?
Yeah.
And just figure out about how many calories you were having per day?
Yep.
Okay. So, based on that, I noticed that your vegetable and fruit intake and dairy intake was low, along with whole grains, but your added sugar and fat intake was a little high. So
doesn't sound good.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. I was just curious, are you willing to reduce your added sugar intake?
Yeah, I think so.
And do you know of any examples of things that have added sugar in them?
I hear this high fructose corn syrup is no good.
Yeah, things like...
It's in a lot of things, I hear.
Things like soda.
Yeah, and for that matter, any other sugary drink, I think. I tend to drink a lot of them, so...
Well, can you give me some examples of those beverages?
Well, I don't know about Crystal Light iced tea. I don't know if that's the synthetic sugar, or if that's the... I don't know if that matters particularly. Soda, obviously. I don't know where beer factors into that, but I drink a little bit of beer, so...
So, what you're saying is, you know that soda has it, and Crystal Light you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Do you drink any teas at all?
Yeah, occasionally.
What type of tea?
Green tea. A lot at work, so that definitely has some added sugar. Just a little bottle like Lipton, or not Lipton. What the hell's the brand? We'll just say Lipton. They have green tea too, right?
Yes, I know of Lipton. So I was just curious, do you know, or do you have any ideas about what you would be willing to have instead of, say, soda, for example?
Probably water, ideally. Some more balanced fruit juices, nothing with too much added sugar. Like I know they claim like a fruit cocktail is a lot of added sugar, whereas just a pure fruit juice might be different. I don't know.
Okay, so would you like to hear some examples from me?
Sure.
I was thinking maybe, like water, you could flavor your water.
Okay.
For example. Do you have any preferences on what you might like to flavor your water with?
No, I mean, they have the little Mio things too, right? Are those good for you?
They add a little more flavor, but that's not necessarily how I would go about flavoring my water. But
okay, you're talking about adding like a lime or a lemon or something like that.
Well, would you like that?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
I don't always have like fresh limes and lemons laying around. It's not a priority to dump them in my drinks. But
right.
I could make it one if it was better for me, I think.
So, what you're saying is you wouldn't want to have to add the flavor to the water.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a little bit more effortless, I think I could go for that.
Okay.
I'm not saying chopping a lemon up is hard, and just it doesn't come across my mind too often to do. I mean,
yeah. So if you didn't want to flavor your water with, say, a lemon or a lime, for example, do you have anybody else that could maybe help you with that?
Yeah, I'm sure I could figure it out. Yeah.
Also, I noticed based on your 24-hour recall that your saturated fat intake was a little high. Do you have any examples of what you could have of things with a little less
instead of boneless spare ribs? Yeah. Salad, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Could probably fit more vegetables and fruits, like you said, in my diet in general. That would do me some good.
I noticed that your protein intake was good, so that's a good thing.
Awesome.
Also, there are things like grilled chicken, for example, that have less saturated fat. Do you like grilled
just
chicken?
As much protein, is what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
And do you know when you would go about incorporating these alternate proteins into your diet?
With any luck, immediately.
Mhm. So would you say maybe lunchtime?
Yeah, I could do lunchtime. Maybe prepare lunch for work before I go, and then my
Okay.
meals settled out a little bit more for the day.
Would you say that's a primary goal of yours?
Yeah, as far as nutrition goes.
Okay. Also, as for whole grains, I know that from your 24-hour recall, you had a bagel in the morning. Do you like bagels?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to have maybe some other type of bagel?
Like a whole grain bagel.
That would work.
That's a thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I could do that.
So, would you like to hear some other examples of whole grains?
Yeah, please.
For me? Okay. So, other examples would be like whole wheat pasta, for
Okay.
example, or brown rice, or even popcorn.
So brown rice is the one that's good for you.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, like I said, even popcorn, you can snack on popcorn, and that counts towards your whole grain intake for the day.
Okay.
And can you give me some examples of places around where you work that might have more whole grain options?
I don't know how you feel about Subway. I think we discussed this last time. I know they have a whole grain option. You know what though? It doesn't seem like there's an awful lot of people that offer that.
Mm-hmm.
At least not upon visiting. I don't know. I have a rough time eating healthy on my lunch breaks typically. So I don't know. I'm not like getting out of work searching for the whole grains.
Yeah, I understand.
There's Paisan's Pizza, and Subway is my healthier option. Bell and Napoli, Chipotle's right next door,
Mm-hmm.
Boston Market, things like that. And I don't know how extensive they are in their whole grain areas.
Mm-hmm. So, would you be willing to maybe go to some of these other places more often?
Yeah, I think so.
And you like Subway in particular?
Yeah.
And as for your fruits and vegetable intake, I remember you had mentioned that your mom does the grocery shopping. Is that correct?
Yep.
What fruits and vegetables do you enjoy?
I think it's easier to say the ones I don't enjoy. I don't like tomatoes, although I know of their nutritional benefit. Yeah, I'm not a fan of tomatoes. Cucumbers, I don't really like. Pickles, I'm not. Which one are they? Fruit or vegetable? They gotta be a vegetable, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I don't like pickles. What else? As for the ones I really like, I like apples. Oranges, I'm coming around to. I didn't used to like oranges, but I've grown a liking to them. Kiwis all day. Love kiwis.
Mm-hmm.
Bananas.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you don't necessarily like tomatoes, pickles, or cucumbers. However, you do like oranges and apples, bananas, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you like to incorporate more of these into your diet?
Yeah, I think so.
And
it's more a matter of availability. If they're around the house, I'll eat them. I don't go hunting for the apples.
Mm-hmm.
They're either there or they're not. So.
Okay.
I think it comes down to the grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to having more fruits and vegetables, do you have a particular time of day that works best for you?
To go grab them?
No, more so
or just
when you would prefer to eat them.
In the morning, I like my fruits, vegetables. I like to try and spread throughout the day. My 24-hour recall wasn't too indicative of that. But
So what I'm hearing is, in the morning when you have your breakfast, you like to have fruits.
Yep. I like a pineapple cup or something. I like pineapples too.
Mm-hmm.
With a bowl of cereal. That'll usually be a typical breakfast for me.
When it comes to the cereal, what type of cereal is it that you like?
Cheerios, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Rice Krispie, whatever they're making.
Would you be willing to maybe buy the whole grain Cheerios, for example?
I didn't know they weren't whole grain already. Are they?
They're multigrain.
Okay. Cool. Then yeah, sure.
And so, as for your vegetables, do you have a particular time of day that you prefer to eat vegetables?
Usually with dinner, but like I said, if I can fit them in at lunch with like a nice salad or something, I'd be all about that.
Hmm. And how do you feel about the cooked vegetables?
I like them, like a vegetable medley or something like that, like where
Hmm.
they're all mixed up, jumbled up. My mom makes some mixed vegetable, like peas, carrots, green beans that I like. I add a little bit of butter to them though, like a lot of butter, maybe.
So what I'm hearing is your mom does make mixed vegetables a lot for dinner,
Yep.
and is there any other time of day where you would like to have vegetables other than what's in the mixed vegetables that she makes?
Whenever.
Mhm. Okay, so what would you say your goal is when it comes to these fruits and vegetables?
To get more of them.
More of them?
No. Quantity is not everything. It's how balanced they are, I'm sure, right? So, I mean, in addition to just getting more vegetables, probably a more balanced vegetable diet would help me
Mhm.
out significantly.
Well, I was also curious how familiar you are with diet tracking apps.
Not at all.
Would you like to hear some recommendations from me as to what applications to use?
Sure.
So there are things such as MyFitnessPal, and I'm not sure. Do you have a Droid or an iPhone?
Yeah, I got a Droid. I got an app on a Droid I can use for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are multiple apps that you can go and download, like the one I had just mentioned, which was MyFitnessPal.
Mm-hmm.
But also built into the Droid is an app called S Health.
Okay, yeah.
And
It's got the pedometer and all that.
right. And you can go in there and you can enter in your height and your weight and you can track your diet through that. Would you be interested in using that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how often I'd be able to keep up with it. I don't have my phone on me for a good portion of my days, so
Hmm.
I mean, I'd try my best, sure.
So you think that it would be challenging to keep up with tracking?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I have to input all my diet into.
Hmm.
So that's pretty time consuming.
Okay. So you would say that's not a primary goal of yours then?
Yeah, and I have to like question how accurate those things are because if I have like my mom's spaghetti
Hmm.
and there's like a bowl of spaghetti as an option, then how similar are those two things from a nutritional standpoint?
That's true. I know there's an option on the website that I had used for your 24-hour diet recall. You can create your own recipes.
Mm-hmm.
Although you had said that the fact that it's time consuming is a challenge.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be difficult to keep up with.
Yeah, I understand. So then that's not a primary goal,
No.
right? So as for being physically active, I know you had mentioned during our last session that you'd like to work out a little bit more. Do you have any primary goals when it comes to that?
Yeah, I gotta get to the gym. So, I mean, like I said last time, my job keeps me pretty active, so I'm not at a deficit extraordinarily so, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I definitely should get to the gym and get at least half an hour, 45 minutes of cardiovascular activity a day. And I don't. What are they recommending nowadays?
Yeah, you have the right information.
Okay.
At least a half an hour per day, 5 days a week.
Okay. I can make that happen.
Do you have a particular time of day that you would like to make that happen?
You see, not really. I don't know. I should probably go before work, but I start work so early.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta wake up at 6 to be there at 7:30. So after work would work good, but then everybody's at the gym already, so it's tough. I would either have to go way later at night, and then I'd be tired for the next morning, or you just gotta be there with a whole bunch of sweaty people.
So what I'm hearing is you're a little crunched for time in the morning because you have to work early.
Mm-hmm.
But at night you feel the gym is a little bit too busy, or if you go too late.
Yeah, during the peak hours, which would probably be 4 to 7 p.m. at a gym.
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah.
So.
I don't like crowds, so.
Yeah, I understand. So when it comes to incorporating more physical activity, do you feel that you just don't have enough time, or that you just, or are you feeling like you don't have enough energy?
It's really the time. The timing's just not good. I mean, I have the energy to go to the gym. I stay up pretty late any other night. I can't imagine it would be a challenge to go to the gym earlier and expend more energy and then just go to sleep earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I think would be a good plan, personally.
So what I'm hearing is a goal of yours would be to go earlier in the day.
Yeah, but then I run back into that risk of it being peak hours, and it's really just a matter of me having to suck it up and go. It's not that bad, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's an excuse, so I just gotta stop making excuses and go.
So what time during the evening would you prefer most?
I used to go and it worked out really well. I'd go right around 9 o'clock, but that's when I didn't open the next day at work. So I'd probably say something like 7 to 8:30, 7 to 9 o'clock, somewhere in that frame would probably be good for me now.
Okay.
Towards the end of peak hours, so there's not too many people there.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a time right now to go to the gym, that would probably work out best, 7 to 9 o'clock.
So what I'm hearing is you would like to go between 7 to 9 p.m.
Yep.
And is there anybody else who might be willing to go with you?
Yeah, I've got a couple buddies that should probably go back to the gym as well.
So that's good. Then you have your friends who would be willing to go with you.
Yep.
I was also curious how active your job as a car wash supervisor is.
I'm on my feet just about all day, and they keep moving. There's always something going on. Either it's this end of the car wash or that end.
Mm-hmm.
It being a long tunnel, I mean, I got to do a lot of walking all day, running in some cases when something extremely alerting comes up. But no, it's physically demanding as a job. Doesn't sound like much, like car wash supervisor, but no, I do my fair share of running around.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is your job sounds busy.
Yep.
I would imagine it probably is on a sunny day, especially, right?
Yeah, or in the wintertime, a real snowy, real salty day, I guess you'd say, when they drop a lot of salt. It's all over people's cars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it keeps busy.
Are you curious at all about how many steps you might be taking while you're there?
The days where I do have my phone on me, I know my pedometer clicks to tell me I reached my daily goal. I think it's 10,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Well before the end of my shift. So I do a lot of walking.
That's good.
No, I'd be curious to see like an actual number though, for sure. Yeah.
Is there any way you could potentially keep your phone on you while you're at work?
Yeah, I could zip it up in a pocket, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily too privy as to how the pedometer works. I don't know if it has to be down here, or if I can have it in like my jacket.
Mm-hmm. I think that either your
I mean, I'm sure it's something I could just try out and find out. So.
Yeah. Would you be willing to experiment with that?
Yeah, I think so. The pedometer on S-Health is pretty good too, as I remember.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it sounds like you'd be willing to keep your phone on you to see how many steps.
Yep.
Also, that could count towards your daily physical activity.
Okay.
So, I'm glad to hear that you're more willing to do that. I was also curious about how you feel about consuming more dairy, because I noticed that was a little low on your 24-hour recall also.
Yeah, okay. I could do that.
So, how would you incorporate these foods into your diet?
Dairy in particular?
Yes.
I like to have like a glass of milk with like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know. You have any recommendations for me?
Yeah, I was thinking that I was curious. How do you feel about yogurt?
I like yogurt. Have the right flavor though. Like I don't like blueberry for some reason. I like blueberries, but not blueberry yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is like oddly specific. But like pineapple yogurt's good. Strawberry yogurt's good. No, I could eat more yogurt.
So, does your mom buy yogurt?
Yeah.
And
it's there.
Because oh good. So because it's in your house, you'd be more willing to have it then?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what time of day you'd enjoy having a yogurt?
It's something I would probably just add to my breakfast rituals.
Mm-hmm.
So I could have like, and tell me if I'm wrong here, I could have like my fruit cup
mm-hmm.
and my glass of juice
mm-hmm.
and my cereal.
Yeah.
And then yogurt.
Yeah.
And that's a relatively balanced breakfast.
Yeah, that sounds good. And are those all things that you enjoy?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, would you consider that a goal of yours then to try and get the juice and the fruit cup count towards your daily fruit intake?
Sweet. Yeah.
And based on what Super Tracker says, it's set up that you should have about 2.5 cups of fruit per day. So you already are having 2 cups right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you have the Chobani yogurt with the fruit on the bottom, that counts a little bit towards your fruit intake too.
Cool. And am I wrong to get my fruits in like early throughout the day? Because like, all right, here's the and I'm no nutritionist like some people. But I try to get my fruit in early so that I have the sugar to last me throughout the day. Because as I remember, fruits are typically a little bit more sugar packed than like a bagel.
That's true.
Or it's a different type of sugar, at least.
Right. Would you like to hear what I have to say about fruits?
Yeah.
The fruits, they have what fructose in it, and I know you know of high fructose corn syrup, which is just a derivative of the sugar that is in the fruits.
Okay.
So fructose is a naturally occurring sugar. I know we had talked about a little earlier in our session about added sugars. So it's better to have the fructose from the fruits than to have the high fructose corn syrup.
The added nonsense from, okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. But I'm good getting them in early throughout the day, or does it not even really matter?
It just depends on your preference.
Okay.
And so would you say you like to have them in the morning?
Yeah, I mean, it's preferable to me. I just didn't know if I was doing any extra good that way or not.
It's helpful.
Okay.
From what it sounds like, you are already having 2 cups of fruit per day in the morning, which is good. Mm. Also, you said you enjoyed a peanut butter sandwich?
Yeah.
Would you be willing to have the peanut butter sandwich on whole wheat bread, for example?
I would, but I'm not going to use natural peanut butter.
Okay.
Because I feel like that was going to be your next question.
That's okay. So what I'm hearing is you don't like natural peanut butter. Okay, so then you would be willing to have the whole wheat bread.
Yeah, I'll put on whatever bread you want me to.
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be opposed to whole wheat bread. That'd be good.
Okay, and when would you be willing to have the peanut butter sandwich with the whole wheat bread?
See, I like it later at night, and I know that's terrible, but usually before I go to bed, peanut butter sandwich. Maybe a little bit of honey drizzled on there. Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself at all feeling a little extra hungry during the day?
Not particularly, no.
No. So, well, would there be another time that you're willing to have the sandwich?
Nah, it's got to be at night.
At night?
We're gonna be difficult here, yeah.
That's okay. So, what I'm hearing is you prefer to have a peanut butter sandwich later at night. Do you know what time you typically like to have the sandwich?
Yeah, like 9 o'clock. See, that used to be my thing. I get home from the gym, like 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. I have a peanut butter sandwich. My logic being the protein from the peanut butter or whatever helped me get off a workout.
So what I'm hearing is you liked to have the protein after working out. Would you be willing to experiment with maybe using the peanut butter sandwich on the whole wheat bread as a reward for making it to the gym between the time you had mentioned?
Yeah, I think that could work.
So would you say that's a goal of yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that we've touched upon everything that I had gotten from your 24-hour recall and your goals. So is there anything else that you'd like to ask me before we end our session?
No, it should be about it.
Okay.
Look forward to following the advice. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It'll be a fun experiment, right?
Yep.
Okay, nice to see you again, Greg.
Nice to see you too.